Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. CDS raises joint security force in renewed anti-oil theft battle. Tinubu pays tribute to Olatunji Dare at 80. Military land nationwide for cultivation to grow food items. Court turns down Emefiele's medical trip request. 103 died in 3,623 cholera cases, says NCDC. Tribunal orders NLNG to pay FIRS $27.5 million as 2016 revised tax. And Rivers lawmakers' crisis rages on over state fund. No plan to sell off varsities to private investors, says federal government. Okay.
Major headline. So security chiefs have harmonized their strategies towards clearing the Niger Delta of crude oil thieves, pipeline vandals, and other criminal elements, affecting the country. The decision was followed by the directive by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that crude exploration and exploitation in the oil-rich region must be made seamless and lives protected. So the security chiefs who met with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, CEO Mele Kyari in Abuja yesterday declared the integrated battle plan under a joint task force. They are also seeking for understanding of the Niger Delta communities and carrying out the president's directive. So speaking to reporters, the Chief of Defense Staff, Christopher Musa, said, "We know that Nigeria relies so much on what we can produce. We appeal to the communities to have an understanding. Yes, we know trust has been a problem, but they can trust us. But they can trust the government that we want to do things differently. Everyone will be carried along. Everyone has a role to play. It's not only for the security agencies alone. We need the communities to understand the pipeline vandalism and all the hazards being caused are also affecting them directly and indirectly, and we need to stop that." So he says, "I can assure you within the next shortest possible time, you will see results." And they went ahead to sort of reel out how they plan to carry out this security so that at least we do away with all those criminal elements, especially in the Niger Delta, that affect our resources.
Similarly, let me just take the food story, because also the House of Representatives on Defense yesterday said that the military intends to go about the directive. They were asking the military how they intend to go about the directive of the president to use their land, the open land space for agriculture. It's our hot topic today, so we don't have any guests about it, but it's important that the chairman of the committee, Jimmy Benson, Honorable Jimmy Benson, who's going to disclose on Tuesday, saying that the president gave the charge to the military, saying that if you have about like 1 million hectares of land, there's a possibility that it will be more secure because the military is manning those places. So what they're expecting that if you convert those lands to agriculture, it can actually help to restore food security in our country. So they're taking the initiative from next week, Monday, and they're inviting the Minister of Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, to come and explain on how they want to transform this directive by the president and ensure that those expanse of land that is owned by the military is converted to agriculture. We'll see how that goes.
Okay, so I have the good news story. The tribunal, the tax appeal tribunal, has ordered that the Nigerian liquefied natural gas pay to the Federal Inland Revenue Service 27.5 million as the 2016 revised company's income tax, and the LLNG are taking the matter to sued the FIRS in 2022, and they brought an appeal to the tax appeal seeking to review a $141.75 million that was due to the FIRS as company's income tax. But afterward, they go back and forth, go front, go back. It was ordered that they should pay $27.5 million, and on the 8th of July this month, they remitted the said $27.5 million to the FIRS, which is now final, full and final settlement amount as agreed by both parties after the signing.
Okay, so I have the cholera outbreak in Nigeria has claimed 103 lives from 3,623 suspected cases across 34 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, reported that the cases and deaths covered 187 local government areas as of July 15th. Lagos, Bayelsa, Abia, Ebonyi, Katsina, and Zamfara states led in number of cases and fatality, contributing 3% of overall burden of the disease. Despite this, the country is now recording a decline in the cases and fatalities compared to the preceding months when the outbreak was first recorded in 2024. Also, it's been recorded that yellow fever outbreak has been recorded in Ekiti, Bayelsa State, with 3 cases and 1 death so far. In the June 23 update, Lagos led 15 states that contributed 90% of the cases, of the cholera cases, which led to 29 deaths in Lagos State. So people of Lagos State, please be careful, especially with the rain, eating of corn, water that not is properly boiled. NCDC Director General Jide Idris at a news conference yesterday said the cholera cumulative case fatality rate since the beginning of the year stands at 2.8%, while predominant age affected is 5 years old. The males account for 52%, while the remaining cases are female. He also said that starting from the 8th to the 14th of July, that they've recorded a decline in cases. So hopefully this will just phase out with time.
All right, The Punch. Local government autonomy, 13 states rush to hold council polls. 1 killed journalist shot in Kenya. It's fresh protest. Crypto billionaire, technopreneur, arrested for alleged fraud and terrorism funding. Court declines Emefiele's request for foreign medical trip. U.S. promises timely delivery of attack helicopters to Nigeria. FG warns 22 states of 5-day massive flooding. Yikes. Minimum wage labor threatens 30-day strike. Alleges plan to decentralize talks.
Major headline. So we remember that the Supreme Court had declared unconstitutional for state governors to hold funds allocated for the local government councils. And that happened in a judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Adjim and the 7-man panel that was held about the 774 local government area councils, that they are now going to be able to manage their funds. And also the fact that about 460-something local governments are actually being handled right now by caretaker committees. About 13 states are quickly rushing to fix dates for local government elections as a result of the Thursday Supreme Court judgments, which had prohibited the federal allocation to go into the state's accounts, but into the local government. So they need to do these elections so that they have a proper local government to be able to receive their funds. Otherwise, they will not receive their funds. So the states that have commenced their council poll preparations include Kaduna, Kogi, Bauchi, Katsina, Osun, Enugu, Benue, Rivers, Jigawa, Imo, Kebbi, Abia, and Anambra states. And they are seeing how the Independent Electoral Commission will be able to schedule the dates for, I think, October 19, 2024. So we're hoping for them and believing that they will be able to sort that out so that they can receive their own allocation, or else they will be holding their states and their local governments behind.
Simple.
If they don't do that.
We love it. We love it. Let's take one more story before we go on a break.
Let me take Emefiele. It's a very short one. So the former CBN governor had applied to the High Court in the FCT for the release of his passports, seeking and another allowing him to travel to the United Kingdom to seek medical treatment. And the court declined it, saying that he did not show sufficient reason to why he needs that medical trip and why it's essential and unavoidable. And so the application was turned down, basically. So it's to. I also advise you should seek the best hospitals in Nigeria.
Okay, let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue with our reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Nima has a story? Or
no, I have a story. The federal government has predicted that 94 towns are at risk of a 5-day flooding beginning Tuesday, July 16, and ending on July 20. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Because not there.
I'm laughing because
you reject it. Not
in the name of Jesus.
These all the town criers, all the people that used to hold the rape, I beg. We need the people 5 days. The Minister of State of Environment, Dr. Salako, discloses to the Punch on Tuesday. Salako said the identified locations and their environs would likely witness heavy rainfall that may lead to flood within the prediction period.
Yeah, what are the areas? Yes,
no, the areas are too much, but I can name some of them. There's Oka, there's Niger, Federal Capital Territory, Akwa Ibom, there's a River State, of course, Port Harcourt, Nasarawa, Bayelsa, there are plenty of Sokoto, Taraba. No, they didn't mention Lagos.
Is it the one from
the 3 days?
Is it the one from the Cameroon dam?
No, I don't think
so. It's not the one, because they said here that they asked whether the Cameroonian government had notified the ministry of when it would open floodgates of the Lagdo Dam. The minister stated that if it was the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation that manages dams, and if they were going to do anything, that they will inform the minister first. And
for those states that I mentioned, please begin to work work around how you can get somewhere higher ground. Maybe relocate somewhere
in the
because
interim.
you don't want to start having casualties over something that's been announced. So please pay attention to the information. The Nigerian Air Force yesterday said that the issuance of the American government for the time, the assurance actually, they have showed us that the American government has given them an assurance of the timely delivery of the attack helicopters ordered by Nigeria. Was the Director of Public Relations, Edward Gapquet, said the assurance was given by the Chief of Air Staff, Marshal Hassan Abubakar, represented by the Chief of Policy and Plans. He said, according to him, said the first program management review meeting was to discuss the program to progress so far on the supply of the AH-1Z attack helicopters to the Nigerian Air Force. They are hoping that this, once it arrives, it will help to obviously buffer up the attack against insurgency in our country. So I don't know how many helicopters. It didn't state here how many we're expecting, but it says that they are definitely going to be, the helicopters, okay, so there are more than one, when inducted into the NAF order of battle, will surely bolster its firepower and operational capabilities, particularly in the counterterrorism and insurgency operations. Okay, moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. Universities reel under choking electricity bill. No plans to hand over universities to private investors, says federal government. Police arrest crypto billionaire Blord over fraud. 190 Nigerians repatriated from UAE. Catholic Church welcomes new apostolic nuncio in Nigeria. Tinubu gives marching orders to security chiefs over oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and PDP Governor storm Enugu for crucial meeting. Which story are we starting with? Okay,
so the police force headquarters in Abuja said its operatives have arrested a crypto billionaire, Linus Williams, popularly known as Blord. Blord was arrested in Abuja yesterday following allegations of cryptocurrency fraud, terrorism funding, and aiding internet fraud, among other allegations against this company. The first police public relations officer, Muyiwa Adejobi, was the one who made the disclosure in a statement in Abuja yesterday. And the statement reads, alleged fraud violation of CBN Act, police interrogate CEO Blord Group of Companies, Linus Williams. Now, the FCID and MPF NCCC is currently investigating complaints lodged against Blord Group, Blord Real Estate Limited, Blord JetPay Limited, Bill Points Technology. And the offenses include allegations on cryptocurrency fraud, aiding internet fraud, computer-related fraud, terrorism, and non-compliance with regulatory frameworks. They are saying that they are going to do due diligence on the investigations, and the cyberspace in Nigeria must be safe and secured by all means. They are committed to achieving that. Okay.
Major headline breaks my heart. Captures the situation in most federal universities. They said that amidst darkness, Daily Sun said they uncovered that some institutions pay up to 350 million monthly, approximately 1.1 billion annually to various discos across the country, yet they still suffer epileptic power. It says, capturing the protests that happened in Uniben, where students took over campus protesting against the darkness and the high bills. And the story just goes across all universities, to Nsukka, to Unilag, to Uniben, all of them. And I'm wondering, was this light up, was it TESCOM? What they call the university? Yeah. No, TESCOM is for secondary schools. I'm trying to get
the body.
TED Fund.
There was TED Fund, that was putting on alternative power, solar powers in most universities under the last administration. How come that, universities cannot find alternatives to what is happening?
This is a conversation that we keep having, because I don't even know,
somebody should audit that.
There's always that issue of also school fees. They can also argue that I don't have enough money, because when they wanted to increase school fees, we all lament that.
No, this cost we can mitigate. This cost, find alternative power. Higher institutions should not run without power.
Yeah.
Yes. You see that story? When we start to compare the standard of education abroad, these are the issues.
Yes.
Exactly.
They can also power themselves. That's why they have research labs. I mean, they don't do research in these universities anymore.
But
they can find how they can use waste to power their environment.
That's what I've been trying to do that for years. They're not going to do that. It's not as cheap as we think. It's nice on paper, but it's a whole different thing to put it out there. Others have been trying to convert this waste into power. Even Lagos, I know there's research ongoing to do it. It's not as cheap as
solar.
It's nice on paper, but it's practically solely different.
And we know under the last administration there was TED Fund light up campuses.
Yeah,
that project.
Trying to convert it for years.
Somebody should audit
it. Even in my house, I can do it.
Okay. Universities,
Well, can the governors of the state...
let's
let us
audit
move
on
on. Let's
our
run that story.
campuses.
Okay,
Let's know what
so
their
that
project
anytime
was.
we need to review our universities and
Yes.
we need money to that, we all
Complain.
protest and
Yeah.
complain.
Yes.
And yes, we still see and complain. There's not enough electricity. There's not enough. There's not enough.
Increase university fees if you like, but you see, power for universities is sacrosanct to
They can
universities.
also get
And
their
if we have done a project before, because this conversation comes up every time with ASU, if something like that has been done before and now we still have them complaining of darkness, somebody should audit that money.
But the discourse, what is their community give back? Can't they do that?
Yeah, they've not made money yet.
Banks know they pay
They
bills.
never reached cost reflective.
Federal government
Money
just clear
never
their
reach
own.
them.
Please let us
Anyways,
cost
the federal government has announced the repatriation of 190 Nigerians from the United Arab Emirates. Maybe they come back, they own too much. The returnees received them at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, yesterday at 5:57 a.m. And they were received by a combined team of government officials led by the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA. NEMA's Zonal Director, North Central, Bashir Idris, said the returnees were profiled and documented by relevant agencies and sensitized to behave with decorum and responsibility on their return to Nigeria. The federal government urges all Nigerians that when they're in foreign currencies, they should carry themselves and know that they are examples and ambassadors of our country, Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes, that they should uphold the fundamental values of patriotism, rule of law, decency and integrity. Well, these are all the reasons why countries keep banning us. And then when they leave the ban, they make it unbearable and unrealistic for us to get their visas. That's all.
No plans to hand over universities. Who has that story? I thought somebody had that story. The federal government said that there was no plan to hand over government-owned tertiary institutions, particularly the universities, to private owners. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, was saying this yesterday at the clarification at the second quarterly engagement of the ministry. Said because the Academic Staff Union of Universities had accused the federal government of plans to hand over the federal universities to public-private partnership. And he said that's not true. There is no plan to sell off the universities to investors. He said, noting that the policy of the government allows for transactional and transnational education. According to him, transnational education is a policy on what this government is doing is to open up tertiary education by taking people from the rest of the world to come and invest in the tertiary system. Some people are carrying information that the federal government is selling off to private investors. That's not true. So it's transnational, such that people from different countries can actually come and invest in our universities. It has nothing to do with them owning the universities. Okay, moving on now to the Nigerian Tribune. More states get set for local government polls. Kano governor signs bill creating 3 second-class emirates into law. Pro-Fubara lawmakers counter Emir Wule, give governor go-ahead to spend state funds. Court remands 98 suspects over Benue communal clash. Oyo Assembly to invite FEMA over deplorable federal roads. And NCDC warns of rising yellow fever cases amid cholera outbreak. Okay, which story?
Okay. Did you say, okay, it's Tribune you took. I thought you took the Vanguard.
Okay.
I didn't have a...
So, Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Makurdi, Benue State on Tuesday remanded 98 persons in Correctional Center over the violent protests that occurred in Ukum, local government area of the state 2 weeks ago. The court, however, adjourned the case till August 21 for further mention. They said 99 persons were arraigned in court, but one of the suspects, who was a nursing mother, was granted bail. And according to First Information Reports, that's FIR, the accused persons were charged with criminal conspiracy, mischief by fire, culpable homicide, mischief, theft, armed robbery, and acts of terrorism. The FIR also read that the caretaker chairman of the Ukum local government area, Victor Loza, had been reported to the police that bandits attacked Bokiyo ward in Ayati, July 3rd at about 3 a.m. in the morning and killed 6 persons. The same day at about 8 hours, violent protesters in their thousands started burning down private and government property, including Ukum local government secretariat. Now, others listed to have been burnt down by the protesters include schools, Federal Road Safety Corps Office, courts, Civil Defense Office, Unity, Access and United Bank of Nigeria, that's the banks, hotels, Benue Link Parks, residential buildings, INEC area, and office, BRS office, police station, NUT office, and local government guest house amounted to millions of naira. This has really got to stop.
Okay, so I have an interesting case inside the papers. Kogi State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of a police inspector, Aminu Mohammed, and his gang over alleged armed robbery in the state. It's so sad that the people that are meant to protect us are the ones actually becoming a menace to society. So that they said that they always plan robberies around their division, they steal cars, and rob people. But unfortunately for them, luck ran out on him when usually they take the cars to the panel beaters to change the plate number, change the color of the car. But this time around, they had changed the color of the plate number of the car. They wanted to change the color of the car when someone reported the incident and alerted the police. The police came and to them, and they said this is not the first time that his gang members said that he was specific that they should go and rob that particular house because of that particular car. So people around his neighborhood and his village said that this is not the first time that he lives in a very palatial house and he brings luxurious cars to the house. Yes, that is not the first time he's doing it. So he targets people and does that. And the Commissioner of Police in the state has personally picked interest in it because he has vowed that how can police, that these are people that bring bad names to police here, to police officers. So they need to investigate to see other police officers that, are involved in this.
Vanguard, our last paper this morning, FG's policies crippling businesses, NECA and Nasima and others. Sunday Igboho to armed headers, leave Southwest now. Which story?
I have Sunday Igboho. So I don't know. This Vanguard says that the report is sketchy. It says, but the Yoruba Nation agitator had issued a fresh eviction notice to all notorious headers who continue to kidnap and rob people in the Southwest zone. And his spokesperson, Olayomi Koiki, in an audio message, released a new notice saying that they should immediately vacate the forest, especially Okeogun area of Oyo State. But they said that the veracity of it is not verifiable right now. And I'm hoping that this does not start again. He had issued such warnings in the last administration. If there are criminals in the forest, this should be the business of the IG. So please, if the IG is watching, please, as soon as possible, before we have these ethnic issues again, let's be on top of the situation.
Let me just go back to the story I took earlier concerning the Ministry of Education saying that foreign universities are not coming to take over. So, I got a clearer picture of what the story is about. I think it's really important for us to have a better understanding. So what the minister was stressing was the fact that international organizations that actually run universities abroad, what they're doing, they're opening our own tertiary institutions for these people to come in. So they have two options, either to come and build their own university, because there are even more private universities in Nigeria than public universities, or partner with ours and help to resuscitate it somewhat. So they've done this. This format has been done in Asia, other parts of the world like Asia. They have benefited immensely from having international institutions to those countries coming to their universities and help them, maybe the administrative, academics, and in other areas. So they have taken the standards of those countries and also for the exchange and bringing money into those countries. So it's not us handing over our universities to them. It's them coming to invest in our own university. Hopefully we'll see some real difference in education.